Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow Room. And we are still wending our way through Schoenberg. We have a nice, juicy clump of Schoenberg right here. Oh, yes. There's so much Schoenberg. People recorded it. I wonder if they recorded it because they loved it or because they just had a sense of obligation. Doesn't matter as long as the performances are good, of course. So let's get hopping here. We have, the Errato Boulez Schoenberg stuff. You've got the Pélias and Mélisande, the variations for orchestra with the Chicago Symphony, hot performances of those, and the violin and piano concertos with Pierre Amoyal and Peter Serkin, with the London Symphony and Boulez conducting. This was Serkin's second recording of the piano concerto because he had the earlier one with what's his name? Seiji Ozawa. Yeah, that's the one. This is just juicy stuff. It really is. So much fun. Well, fun maybe isn't the word, but good music. And then we have this part of the Boulez Schoenberg edition on Sony. Remember that? It was all packed into a box. It's on a little box that I have upstairs. But originally they were all separates. And here we have Die Glückliche Hand, which is that demented thing that has this hand that keeps pounding someone with a hammer. And it's very odd. Drama with music. And the variations for orchestra, again. And Verkleerdernacht with the New York Phil. The variations are with the BBC. This variations, I think, with Chicago is better. Boulez has got to be one of the few people who made multiple recordings of the Schoenberg variations for orchestra. Then we've got the Hollywood String Quartet. I've talked about this disc because it's got one of the most amazing Schubert quintets in it, along with one of the most amazing Verkleerdernachts in it. It's the reference recording of Verkleerdernacht, in the chamber version anyway. It had Schoenberg's own imprimatur. They studied it with him in Los Angeles and recorded it, and he had nothing to criticize, which says a lot. That's on Testament. But we've already talked about it. I have one upstairs too. I have like 5 of those or something. Gurre-Lieder, with Herbert Kegel. Yes, with Eva Maria Budenschuh, soprano, is Tova, and the Waldtaube is Rosemarie Lang, and Waldemar is Manfred Jung, and Klaus Nahr is Wolf Appel, and the Bauer is Ulrich Kold, and the Sprecher is Gert Westphal, with the Leipzig Radio Choir, which is amazing. That was Kegel's group. He trained them. And the, Dresden Philharmonic and members of the Leipzig Radio Symphony Orchestra. This is on Berlin Classics. So there you go. I collect Kegel. He was a very, very fine conductor. And then we've got, what's this one? Schoenberg and Brahms. Schoenberg-Brahms Piano Quartet. This is the Junge Deutsche Philharmonie. Okay, Philharmonie. Coupled with the Webern Passacaglia and the Adagio from Mahler's 10th on Berlin Classics. It's directed by Hans Sender, the Brahms Schoenberg, and then Gary Bertini for the rest of it. And that's why I have it. So it's kind of a strange album. There you go. That's what you get in the Overflow Room. It's where I put all the strange albums. The Jakobsleiter, the Oratorio Fragment, Jacob's Ladder. This also has the Webern Concerto for flute, oboe, clarinet, horn, trumpet, trombone, violin, viola, and piano. This is with Eliyahu Inbal, right? Yes? Does it say who the conductor is? It should. Yes, Eliyahu Inbal on Denon. I got this because Jakobsleiter was impossible to find anywhere else. And here we have the Schoenberg String Quartets. Oh, how juicy, with the Arditi String Quartet. Classic versions of really fascinating works. The second string quartet with the soprano is an amazing piece, of course. And 3 and 4 are very, very naughty, difficult works. But, if you like Schoenberg and you're in for a challenge once in a while. One of the things about these is if you think that you're required to have some like dodecaphonic or atonal string quartets, just get Schoenberg's. Because millions of composers wrote them afterwards. But if you have Schoenberg's, there's no point in listening to anybody else's. They all sound the same anyway. I have a confession to make. I do. I have a confession to make. I think it was the Elliott Carter string quartets that were in a box with the Juilliard Quartet. And I did a review on ClassicsToday.com, and I had some sound samples. The sound samples were just I don't know, some other atonal string quartet. I put them in there. Nobody noticed. Yeah, just goes to show. Berg, Lyric Suite, Schoenberg, Verclair de Nacht with the Duke Quartet on Collins. I don't know why I got this. I just did. Well, I wanted the Lyric Suite principally, but I filed it under Schoenberg. Then we've got this disc of Claudio Ababbado Vienna Phil stuff, doing Schoenberg's A Survivor from Warsaw. I mean, it's like the lead here, and that's why it's in here, because the rest of it is all Webern. It's Webern orchestral music, the 6 pieces for orchestra, the 5 pieces, and the variations, and the Passacaglia, and the musical offering, Richard Carr, whatever that thing's called. So yeah, I hung on to that. It's in the big Ababbado box, several of them actually. Then we've got Pierrot Lunaire, Herzgewächse, the Ode to Napoleon, with David Pittman Jennings, remember he was the Moses, and the Boulez, Moses and Aaron, and Christine Schaefer singing Pierrot Lunaire with Pierre Boulez and the Ensemble Intercontemporain on Deutsche Grammophon. What's this thing? Oh, I already have one of these. I just talked about it. I've got 2 of them. Okay, this is that Boulez stuff again. I don't know how 2 of them popped in there. It happens. Oh, Verclair de Nacht and Pelléas and Melisande, the romantic music of Schoenberg, with Yo Levy and the Atlanta Symphony on Telarc. Not one of the biggest sellers, probably, in the Yo Levy discography, but these are good performances, and they're marvelously recorded. And it's actually kind of interesting. You know, I mean, it's a clever idea, the romantic music of Schoenberg. I mean, if you call Pelléas and Melisande, romantic, then it maybe doesn't impress you quite as much romantic, chromatic sludge stuff. I mean, it is chromatic sludge. Who are we kidding? But it's romantic chromatic sludge. Schoenberg Septet Serenade and the Septet Suite with Robert Kraft. This is a great disc. This is on Koch, whatever you want to call it. The Serenade is just endless fun, and the Septet Suite is wonderful too. It has a movement called Dance Steps. Yeah, just try and dance to it. That's what I love about Schoenberg. And last but not least for this clump is the Hans Swarovski Czech Philharmonic, Pelléas and Melisande and the Webern Passacaglia. These are sort of historical recordings of great import. Well, they were recorded in 73 or so. It seems they're not that historical. I mean, they're in stereo. They're wonderfully well played. This is a Japanese superphone. And I am never getting rid of it because even though I can't ever read it, it's in English on this side, I want to hang on to those because the Czech fill is great to hear, even when they do play chromatic sludge. So there you have it. That's this clump of Schoenberg. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.